Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 22 of albums that are 50 years old in the albums that are 50 years old in 2024, from 1974, right? So we're looking at albums that are turning 50 years old, having their 50th birthdays, 50th anniversaries this year. Going back to 1974, we've got 31 days in the month of January. We picked out our 31 favorites across all music genres from that great year. Today for pick number 22, it's a debut studio album from this American band, released March 8th, 1974. Recorded at the Record Plant Studios in New York City. Produced by Wally Gold for Kirshner Records here in the States, Epic Records in Europe. I'm talking about Kansas. Yes, Janice, Kansas. The debut album from a great, great band. Their first foray into what at the time, American progressive rock. Who was doing that, really? Right? Most of the Brits were then the Europeans were doing all the great prog albums, right? Yeah, you have Frank Zappa and some other bands, right, that kind of dabble in prog rock and psychedelia and things like that. But for an American band to truly go jumping headfirst into British style progressive rock, but with an American slant to it. This is really the first band that was truly, truly doing that. Right? You had in the band the great Steve Walsh on piano, organ, Fender Rhodes, lead and backing vocals, the great Kerry Livgren, guitars, piano, organ, Moog synthesizer, backing vocals, Robbie Steinhardt, violin, lead and backing vocals, Rich Williams, all sorts of guitars, Dave Hope, bass and backing vocals, and the great Phil Ehart on drums. Very cool. Early on in the band's career, their first few albums, you had this mix of these adventurous progressive rock tunes with a couple hard rockin' bluesy boogie tracks, right? That's what their first few albums had. You had at least one or two of those type of songs, and the rest was all prog rock. Starts off with Can I Tell You? That's kind of that hard rockin' bluesy boogie, right? But you got the violin and these cool solos and passages, right? Then you got Bringing It Back, a cover of the J.J. Cale tune. Again, more of that kind of darker bluesy boogie type thing, but then Lonely Wind, right? Those great Steve Walsh vocals, so good. Of course, then Balexis, which is a song that Kerry brought over from previous incarnation of Kansas, also known to many of us as Protocol, right? That's an old song from the early part of the history of this band. Then, of course, you have the amazing, epic, nearly 8 minutes long Journey from Maribyrnong. Terrific. Over on side 2, you got The Pilgrimage. Very cool song. But then for me, that 1-2 punch to close out the album. Abercoo, or Abersu, however you say that, and Death of Mother Nature Suite. For those of you who say that Kansas weren't prog, well, listen to those two tracks. Tell me otherwise. Listen to Journey from Maribyrnong. Listen to Balexis. Come on. Man, this is prog rock at its finest. Definitely a kick-ass debut album. They would go on to the next, of course you got the great Song for America and Mask and, Left Overture and Point of No Return and even Monolith, right? I mean, that's what a run from the first album to Monolith. There's no weak albums there at all. Great stuff. All right, let's take a look at charting positions. Well, so here in the States, of course, which is really the only place where this band was being, noticed at all, this only made it to the number 174. It wasn't until a couple albums later when all of a sudden, they really blew up here in North America and then a few other places around the world, although Kansas always remained more of a big smash hit here at home than they did abroad. Certifications, this went gold in Canada, 50,000 units sold, eventually did go gold here in the States, also 500,000 units sold, right? But that didn't happen until later on after, the aura of Kansas became, with Left Overture and Point of No Return, where they became a really big band. That's when the back catalog started selling quite a bit. And let's see, as far as singles, Can I Tell You was released May 1974, and then Lonely Wind, which totally see that. I'm surprised that didn't do better. Lonely Wind was fantastic. Released February 1975, right? So released a little bit later on. So there you have it, everybody. Kansas self-titled debut. There are the guys with their overalls, and yeah, looking like a bunch of guys, bunch of long-haired, bearded guys from Kansas, right, from out in the Midwest, right? But yeah, such a cool band. You know, you listen to interviews with various members of the band. They were into like Yes and Genesis and Gentle Giant. They were listening to all that stuff. That's kind of where they got their inspiration. But of course, they had a lot of that kind of like Midwestern, Southern type thing going on as well. So and you know, violin, Hammond organ, and Moog, and hard rocking guitars. Sure, why not? Two great singers. Sure, why not? That's Kansas for you. Let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, pick number 22. And we'll see you tomorrow for number 23 as we march our way to number 31 before we go to 1984 on February 1st, right? Because we've got to go to 84 and we got to go to 94. So there's lots more to come over the next 2 months, right, as we look back on these albums that are turning 50, 40, and 30 years old here this year in 2024. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, down there, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. It's greatly appreciated, and always, I'm always very thankful when folks do want to contribute to the channel in that way. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares. Classic fifth albums tonight from Lynyrd Skynyrd, Blue Oyster Cult, Kiss, and what is the fourth one? Oh, I'm forgetting. Sorry. Well, that'll come up tonight. You've already heard it before. That's coming up tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares, and we'll see you then. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow morning here for albums that are 50 years old in 2024. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.